Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we rediving into a question that is on the minds of a lot of people, especially those standing at the crossroads of their future. Is college necessary to be successful and make good money in life? Let us talk about it, whether you are someone considering college or someone who has already been through it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Let us get this conversation going. First, let us talk about my personal experience with college. I entered college having no idea what I wanted to do, simply just being told that that was the only way to be successful and make money. I picked a random major, chemistry, simply because that is what my dad studied. I gave no thought about how much money I'd be making after, if grad school was necessary, or any of that. Nobody warned me about the potential pitfalls back then. For the first 2 years, college cons consisted of taking general math, science, language, and psych classes with some random other credits like music and art history mixed in. It was a Big Ten school, so people studied hard and partied hard. I got an education in beer consumption as a bonus. Now, if you pick a degree in sciences, usually you need grad school or some sort of specialization to have a good job. Part of my degree was doing a lot of lab work. There was one problem: I hated it. I couldn't stand mixing chemicals, following boring instructions, and taking detailed notes on my experiments. Is this what I wanted to do for the next 8 years of my life? I was in the wrong path. I took a computer science class in high school, so I figured why not give that a shot. Once I started to look at jobs and internships, I realized that I like that way better. Even more weird, I realized nothing I was learning in school would even help me at these jobs. After this, I switched all my classes to computer science, aside from the required filler classes where I studied art, music, and all this other useful stuff for making money. Now, I did terrible at these computer science classes. I was struggling to get a B or C average for the remainder of college. I simply did not care about these classes after seeing what I actually need to know to succeed in these internships. After I got my first internship at a big company as a software developer, I began to see even more the pointlessness of college. I thought I was bad at the C's courses, but I was fine when it came time to be an employee and get the job done. School almost ruined computer science for me. There was one main difference between school and the real job, and it is that you actually have internet access for looking things up the whole workday. So that is my story. I did go to college, I did get a degree, and yes, I landed a job right after graduation after trying many different things on the surface. It looks like a solid path. Went to college, got a degree, got a good job, and so far it has worked out well for me. But let me tell you, the experience wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and was completely straightforward. I've made several observations along the way, and while it can be useful, I do not believe college is necessary to be successful. Here is what I valued about my college education. It was a unique experience for me, and to be honest, it helped me grow in many ways. I found out what I didn't like to do, lab work, and what I liked more, which was coding and computer work. I would also say the last 2 years of classes were much more specialized and helpful to my major. And sure, college helped me build a foundation in a lot of other things like problem solving, working under pressure, and class librating with others. So perhaps the bigger benefit, what I would call, is the social education. I was an introvert in high school, kind of a stereotypical nerd, maybe one of like the cooler nerds, often buried in textbooks and studying a lot. The social atmosphere of being surrounded by people your age was great in college. I needed that to develop as a person. I value that, and the connections I made just as much as the material learned, if not more. That is very important in today's day, and especially in the age of social media. Now, can you get that without college? Maybe, but it might be more difficult. Never in my life again have I been surrounded by that many people my age, all at the same phase in life. So let us get into talking more. Was it worth it? Well, I think it is a bit more complicated. First off, let us talk about some of the things that drove me crazy about college. Number one, dumb courses I had to take. A bunch of general education courses that felt completely irrelevant to what I wanted to do. They reforced to pay your money to sit in a bunch of classes taken as a requirement just to get credits to graduate and finally get your degree. Why was I sitting in an art history class memorizing dates, or a music class when I wanted to code and learn more about computer science? Why is it relevant to learn about population problems? Even some of the math and algorithms classes seemed irrelevant, considering I can look up things all day at my actual job. I'd say half of my classes were not relevant and almost a complete waste of time. I also found that a lot of classes had a political spin, which is a whole another discussion. It took until my internship and real-world experience to realize that most of what you are taught doesn't matter. Number two, cost. The cost of college is now astronomical. Student loans are a real burden, and paying them off can feel like a lifetime sentence. It is simply becoming too expensive to be feasible anymore. What might have been a feasible career path 15 years ago is now no longer reasonable. If tuition is $20,000 per year, college is an investment now, and you have to make sure that it pays off with what you are making after college. Another problem: industries move faster than education. A lot of stuff in the computer languages I learned weren't even relevant. A couple years later, the tech industry especially moves fast, and by the time you are out of college, some of what you've learned is already outdated. Especially in tech, I was bad at classes, but good at the job. Since the internet came out, memorization is much less valued than it used to be. But that still isn't really relevant. in the school system. Number 4 thing I don't too like about college, and it is a part that really irritates me a lot, is that society really pushes it on you. I had this idea in my head that you have to go to college to be successful. It was automatic. Of course, you have to go to college. I am frustrated with the blind just go to college propaganda at the time. It worked out for me, but for many others, it could have ruined their life. I was never presented with alternatives, never gone through the economics of tuition versus salary, and never thought deeply about what I wanted or if there was another way. Now let us be fair, there are definitely situations when a degree is necessary if you are pursuing a degree or a career in medicine, law, engineering, or any field where specialized knowledge and certification are required. College is pretty much a must that is not going to change anytime soon. These fields are highly regulated and you need that formal education to get licensed and practice professionally. But here is the thing, not every career path requires a degree. In fact, some of the most successful people in tech, business, and arts either dropped out of college or skipped it altogether. I worked with many great people, great engineers who did not attend college. Places like Google have even dropped their college degree requirement for some jobs in fields like programming, entrepreneurship, digital media. What really matters is your skill. It'll set your portfolio, your network, and your ability to adapt and sell your self-experience. Often trumps a diploma in these industries. At the end of the day, your degree is an investment, and you should only get it if there is an expectation it can be paid off. So let us start to talk about some of the alternatives to a 4-year degree. The rise of trade schools comes to mind. More and more people are turning to grit trade schools to learn a specific skill, be coding, plumbing, welding, without the burden or cost of a 4-year college degree. These schools are often shorter, more focused programs that get you job ready in the fraction of the time and at the fraction of the cost. These would be nice to avoid sitting in some of those stupid classes that they make you take. Let us talk about some data for people who chose not to go to college and decide to carve their own path. Studies show that while college graduates typically have higher than average earnings, there is a growing number of self-motivated individuals who are bucking this trend. There are people who dive into trades, start businesses, or enter tech roles with nothing but a portfolio and determination. According to recent surveys, more than 30% of high-paying jobs in tech don't require a college degree. Instead, employers are looking for experience-specific skills and a strong work ethic. Platforms like YouTube coding boot camps and online courses have opened up a world of opportunities for people to learn at their own pace and at a fraction of the cost of traditional education. What is crucial for those who skip college is self-motivation. Without a structured environment of college, you need to be driven to seek out these learning opportunities and network and continuously improve your skills. Those who succeed without a degree often have an entrepreneurial mindset and are relentless in their pursuit of knowledge and success. So, in conclusion, is college necessary to make money in life? The answer isn't black and white. But I am going to say no, it is not. It can be useful, but it is not necessary. Really depends on what you want to do and how you want to get there. For some, college is the right path and can help build a foundation for the rest of your life. For others, it is not. If you are self-motivated, you might be able to get by without it. The key is to weigh your options, understand the cost, and choose the path that aligns best with your goals and values. Let me know in the comments, what is your take on this? Do you think college is necessary, or are there better ways to achieve success? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this.